seems a little flaky, a little out there, but I mean, there's got to be something clicking up there. Because this 11 titles, this guy has done amazing things. You know, as a coach. Yeah, no, he's totally out there. I agree. I mean, to me, he just seems like a well-aged hippie, doesn't he? Just kind of like he's a little hippie-ish. That's all right. You know what I mean? Like he's just kind of really laid back. You don't see him ever lose his temper. He's all into Zen. It's okay. That's all right. It is what it is. 11 titles. Take it. You know what I mean? To be whatever you want to be. 11 titles does it. You can do what you want. And he's probably going to retire. And what gets me are the people who don't give this guy the credit that he deserves as a coach. And I assume it's none of you in here. But, you know, it's the people that don't understand what they're talking about that say, oh, he's just had the best players ever. That's why. Like he didn't have to do anything. Like he just showed up and watched. Just had the best seats for all those games. That's all that was. No big deal. He's just, listen, think about this. All these great players that he has coached, and, you know, don't get me wrong, he has coached some of the greatest ever. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time. Kobe Bryant, the second greatest basketball player of all time. Shaquille O'Neal in his prime, the greatest center of all time. Right? I mean, so that definitely helps. But look at it like this. Would these guys be thought of as the greatest, or almost the greatest at what they do, without Phil? Listen, 11 titles for Phil. 6 for Michael. 5 for Kobe. Right? 4 for Shaq. And there's only one out of all of those. That one title for Shaq in Miami that Phil Jackson didn't have a part of. Michael Jordan got 6 titles, but none without Phil Jackson. And he played without Phil Jackson. He played for other coaches. He played for Doug Collins for a while. You know, when he came back, he made his comeback to play. And I know that doesn't count because he wasn't in his prime anymore, but still, you know, Michael's whole career, guy had 10 scoring titles. You know what I mean? Countless All-Star. He was a great player before Phil Jackson. A great player before Phil Jackson. A championship player with Phil Jackson. You know what I mean? Listen, ice cream's really good, but it's a sundae when you put chocolate syrup on it and cherries and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, but you can't take away just how good a scoop of ice cream is on its own. Sometimes you just need something to make you that much better and to put you over the top. And Phil Jackson is that. Phil Jackson takes these great players and turns them into championship players. Right? I mean, that's what he does. He wins championships. Say, oh, he's just got the best players. Yeah, sure, but he might make them the best players. Without him, they might just be really, really good players. I mean, look at, even Kobe, in his prime, played for a couple of years without Phil, not even close to titles. I mean, not even close. He made the playoffs and got, like, swept in the first round or something like that. I mean, just without Phil, it's just not the same. They're not the same players. They don't have the same success. And none of them. I mean, and Scottie Pippen, too. Scottie Pippen was considered, it still is, I think, considered one of the 50 greatest of all time, as well as he should be. But, I mean, Scottie Pippen in Portland, post Phil Jackson, just not quite the same. Just not quite the same. So, you know, give this guy the credit he deserves. He's got 11 titles. You don't just do that on accident. You don't just do that by sitting there and letting players play. You got to get involved. You have to come up with a format, a plan, a strategy. And don't forget, the NBA season is a long season. You got to manage that. You got to have your guys ready to play at the end of 82 regular season games. You have to have them ready to play for a couple more months if you want them to make it to the NBA Finals. And so you have to think about that when the season starts, right? The season starts in what? October, like late October, early November. So you have to start thinking then and there about June. I mean, that's just real. And this guy's been able to do that 11 times.